So it's back to boatwork time, and spring is finally here, which is fantastic. We've had a lot of rainy weather, but today is a beautiful day, and I can show you how I solved my main sheet problem. So let's do a quick bit of recap, and I'll show you what has changed. Um, if you can remember, the main sheet was running along the back here. Let me just show you. So the main sheet used to run along that piece of wood going across, and the problem was that the cockpit canopy has these corners which won't allow it to pass on that side and that side. So I had to come up with a new way to run the main sheet, and let me get back onto the top of the boat and I'll show you what I've done. So the first job was to raise the boom. It used to be at this height. I'll show you down, and we needed just over 20 centimeters of raising it. So now I have a very heavily pop riveted on support bar going to the boom. One of the big changes was that I no longer have a roller furling mast. The roller furling mast was blocking all of the solutions, and I got a lot of good advice from a couple of different people, actually the same advice, to get rid of the roller furling boom and to switch it to a regular style boom, and that opens up my options quite significantly. And that's what I've done now. So I've got now attachment points underneath the boom, so the boom can't rotate anymore, and the main sheet is going all the way right to the back of the boat, but it's a single point main sheet. So I've got a little bit of a 2-to-1 ratio over here for the main sheet, and I run the line all the way through. Let me go along all the way down to that side, and it goes all the way back, and I've got a clutch over there holding it in the end there, so I can control the main sheet from the inside. I'm not completely done yet. I still need to put a vang on, because otherwise the boom is just going to lift with a single attachment point. So I'm going to make a strop to go around the mast and work on maybe a 4-to-1 for the vang. I've got the leftover from the old main sheet. I might turn that into the vang. One piece of concern for me, and I don't know rigging well enough to know if this is a bad idea, but to me it looks like it may be a bad idea. This pulley is attached to my anchor points for the rigging, and it looks like they've taken one of those pins and they've welded on a ring over there so they can attach things to it. So that part doesn't worry me hugely, but what does worry me is that the piece that's keeping it in line is just this little pin over here, and I don't know what the strength of these pins are. I don't know if 4 of these pins is going to be strong enough. There's no force on it now, and it feels like a very tight fit, so maybe that is the case. But yeah, please, could I have some opinions on that? It's the only worry in the solution at the moment. Okay, let's go back and see the travel of the main. You can see there the lines had an issue getting caught, so I've had those 2 stainless steel brackets put in place, which I think are working fairly well. They do seem to lift the line quite nicely, and keep going with this main. Let's get a bit more slack up here. But yeah, as you can see, we can go all the way out to the spreaders, so that's exactly what we need. And hopefully when it goes the other way it shouldn't get hooked up on anything either. So let's give that a go. Over boom. Yeah, and here we are at the other spreader. So that looks fairly good. Yeah, so far so good. So in terms of the strength of the attachment point, I've got a relatively good sized plate over there which goes through to the bottom up there, and then you can see we've got a good solid sized steel pipe going down to the old, remember this was the attachment point for the main sheet where it used to be. And this is bolted through into another solid steel plate, stainless steel pole, and this is bolted down all the way along here the back of the boat. It's nice thick solid solid fiberglass with a backing plate as well. So I think all of that together is hopefully going to be strong enough for keeping this main sheet under control, and I think it's a relatively good solution. Let me know what you think. Now, one of the other things I didn't mention is that my poor old tired mainsail isn't in a state to have it adjusted, to have reef points put in and trimmed and that. They just said it's time to spend a bit of money on new sails, and looking at it now I think they're right. So I think I'll have to get a new mainsail, and hopefully a more efficient one. And I'm not sure about the foresail yet either, but yeah, money keeps on flowing out. The electrical work on the boat was actually not very expensive. You saw I spent what I spent on it in a previous video, but sails and rigging cost you a lot of money. With hindsight, who knows, maybe I would have had a completely different boat. I might have removed the mast when I got the first monstrous quote and filled it with solar panels. But yeah, we are here today, and I do want to have a sailing boat, and I've invested so much in it already. The new sails and that might be worth doing for the last while. Anyway, thanks for watching.